I'm Donald Woolsey, arrested December 2013 for manufacturing methamphetamine. And when I was chained up at the jail and hooked up to the bench waiting to be put in, I started thinking real hard about God. And I started praying pretty hard. And I realized when I got back that He answered my first prayer, which was to put me into a decent cell with some good guys where I wasn't in there with a bunch beating on the walls and a bunch of rowdy ones, you know. Got a little age under my belt. And He answered it to a point to where there was no doubt that He answered that prayer, because the gentlemen, the guys that was in that cell, sat down and prayed at every meal. And you know, it was a big blessing to be put in a cell like that. It was the only one in the whole cell block that way, which most of the guys outside the cell block wanted in that cell block, where I was fortunate enough to the blessing of God got in there, you know. And my wife was also arrested at that time, which she was across the way. We didn't get to communicate and talk or nothing. You know, that was pretty devastating. And it took her a little bit more, you know, she had a little rougher over on that side where she was at. She was mad at God at first, but she come around before we managed to get bond and get out. When we bonded out, we were both ready to turn our life over to God. And we, first Sunday to come around, decided, well, we were going to find us a church. And we took off. We'd been cutting grass for a living, and there was this one church, these older couple that we cut the grass for, that was no longer doing it. To come find out, she had passed away, and he got put into the Good Samaritan nursing home. And so, well, with it being closed, we took off driving from that church, and we drove around looking, thinking, well, now where are we going to go? What, you know, what church? So, well, we're going to pick one somewhere, you know, let's just figure one out. And my wife said, well, she had heard one at the corner of 2nd and Walnut that she said she'd like to go there and check out. Well, we went, pulled in the parking lot, and there was a lady standing outside the parking lot. Said, oh, the service wasn't there yet. It didn't start until 11 o'clock. She said, come back. She invited us back. She gave us good welcome arms, you know, so we thought, well, we'd come back to it. The name of that church was The Gathering. And we went back that Sunday and didn't feel out of place at all going in there. Everybody very welcome, very open arm. And well, we went that Sunday and went back the next Sunday. And when we were both in jail, we had heard of this CEO of Church of New Prison Offenders, and ended up Tony Metcalf was went to that church, which was over the CEOs, which it all just fell right in place, which is definitely, to me, you know, it's all the work of God, working everything out. It's a little hard. Because, you know, he definitely made everything much better for me and my wife. By us turning our life over to God, you know, I've been doing that for 30 years. Working hard. Right after we did that, turn our life over to God, went to serve on the church. He's kept away all our cravings, urges, triggers. I even enrolled in the stepping stone, and they said, well, you're on what we call the pink cloud. Well, you know, after about 9 weeks, hey, how long does this cloud last? That's when they told me, well, about 8 or 9 weeks. So then after about 4 or 5 months, this cloud sure still lasting. You know, because it wasn't just a pink cloud, it was active, it was God. And by us going in that CEO of the Church of New Prison Offenders, we was able to get into classes thinking for a change, which was, you know, a lot of enjoyment. We got a lot out of it. And just the church alone, the gathering, has just been so welcoming. You know, that's like now while I'm locked up, my wife's out there, and she's got all her new friends. The church, keeping her well comforted. You know, it's just, it's been remarkable. Can't say enough for the gathering, the CEO, all what they've done for us, and are doing for us. The church has embraced us. It's just more than I can say, far more than I ever expected. You know, that it's been so welcoming, so much comfort, caring. I've definitely received mail, cards, everything from the Restore and from people at church, other people that's doesn't even go, that just knows, you know, from when my wife gets on the internet and she talks so much about it. There's this lady that she went to school with that even wrote me and said she'd been following our new path in Christ. Give me a bunch of good comforting words. By getting into the church, gathering, getting God into my life, has given me such peace of coming here that it's unexplainable. There's a little joy even to it. You know, it's not a happiness, but it's just peace and joy that I feel the whole time I've been here. You know, well, one of the main things is knowing what my wife is. She's, you know, because I get letters from her all the time, you know, it's Jesus, 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 and she tells me about everything, you know, how well everything's just going for her. Everything's going so much better. Life's been a total change. I was worried that there wasn't no Bible study classes or anything, but I found out there's one every night of the week. So I get to go to Bible study every night, celebrating recovery through Tony, through a CEO. And I go to prayer group every night at 9 o'clock, which is nice. It's good and enjoyable. So definitely can see God's hand at work. He's working well on me. I keep hearing the same thing over and over, I think, which is to be more bolder. I've been hearing that a lot. He's wanting me to step up a little bit, I do believe. It's not even so much having to be able to quote the scriptures as to just walk right, do right, treat people right, show the love of Christ. That's what it takes as much as knowing the scriptures. That's where I felt like I was way behind. That kind of made me feel a little better, a lot better. I think that was all God talking to me. Let me know. Just do right. I know now that through the help of God and with God, I'm gonna live a lot better life. I know, I can feel it, I can tell it. He talks to me, he lets me know that this is right. This is my family and everything. That's something that you can't get back when you get older and it goes quicker. I know I need God there to help me do right.